What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I'd like to give you guys some Atlanta Falcons news. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So today in Atlanta Falcons news, late last night, the Atlanta Falcons signed Mack Hollins. He is former wide receiver from the Las Vegas Raiders. He also played with the Miami Dolphins as well as the Philadelphia Eagles. I do like this pickup for our Atlanta Falcons and Mack Hollins. I believe he signed a one-year deal. He is 6'4", 220 pounds. But I definitely think that this is a big signing for our Atlanta Falcons because we don't have a lot of talent or a lot of wide receivers currently under contract. Right now, it's only Drake London, Mack Hollins, Frank Darby. We really don't have a lot of guys that's currently under contract as far as the wide receiving core. But I definitely think Mack Hollins is a great signing for our Atlanta Falcons. As I mentioned, Mack Hollins is a big physical wide receiver at 6'4", 220. He's a guy similar to a Mohamed Sanu. He doesn't run routes as well as Mohamed Sanu. Mohamed Sanu was one of those guys that was a great route runner for his size. But Mack Hollins is a pretty good route runner. He is a guy who can take the top off the defense. He's not the fastest guy, but he does have deceptive speed. He's a guy that's not afraid to go across the middle of the field. He is a guy that can do those in-breaking routes, which we know Arthur Smith loves throwing slant routes and things of that nature. He likes big body wide receivers and tight ends that are not afraid to go across the middle of the field. And Mack Hollins is one of those guys who can definitely go across the middle of the field and is not afraid to go across the middle of the field. He is one of those guys that I think will help the Atlanta Falcons as far as being one of those guys that can get big plays and chunk plays across the middle of the field and also down the field. He also is a guy who can play on the boundary as like a number 2 wide receiver. And I definitely think that that'll be like a role that he will play for our Falcons. I do think he'll be a guy that they move all over the formation. If you go check out some of the highlights for Mack Hollins or some of his tape, he is a guy as well that the Las Vegas Raiders used in end rounds. He was a guy that ran reverses and things of that nature. So he is a guy I think that is going to be a big contributor for our Atlanta Falcons. He is a guy who's come on late in his career or early on with the Philadelphia Eagles. He didn't play much. And then with the Miami Dolphins, he kind of found his niche on special teams. And then they started to use him a little bit more as a wide receiver. And then last year, he had his best season of his career with the Las Vegas Raiders. I believe he had close to 700 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. But I definitely think that this is a great signing for our Atlanta Falcons because Arthur Smith is looking for a particular certain type of players to be able to be physical, go across the middle of the field and be a guy that can do multiple things. You guys continuously, hear me talk about players being versatile, having versatility. That's something that this Falcons team, that's something that our coaching staff likes. They like players that can play special teams. They like players that can do multiple things. And Mack Hollins is just another signing for our Atlanta Falcons, another player that we see who can do multiple things. He's a guy that definitely will be on the special teams unit. He's an excellent special teams player as a gunner. Pretty much his whole NFL career, he's been really good on special teams. But I definitely think that he'll have a big role on this Atlanta Falcons offense as well because of his versatility, because he's a guy that you can pretty much line up anywhere on the field and he can make plays similar to Jonnu Smith, who we also brought in. So I like what we're doing, what this coaching staff is doing and what Terry Fontenot is doing as far as bringing in players on reasonable deals, but guys that can do multiple things and adding depth to this team. Those are the 2 words you're going to hear a lot on my channel and a lot from this Atlanta Falcons team is they're looking to add depth and they're looking to add players that are versatile. You have to be able to do multiple things to be on this Atlanta Falcons roster. And I expect Mack Hollins to be one of those guys that can have a big impact for our team. He's not the shiny, the shiny type of guy that everybody's going to talk about. He's not a big name. He's not one of those guys that's known across the league, but he's a guy who's come on the last couple of years of his career with the Dolphins and also with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's actually carved out a nice little niche for himself. And I definitely think that he could be a player if he plays well this season. They could extend because he's a guy that's one of those glue guys. He's not a star wide receiver, but he is one of those guys that could be one of the glue guys for this Atlanta Falcons team, one of those role players. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of Mack Hollins. As I stated, I do think that this was a good signing by Atlanta Falcons, and I expect the Falcons to bring in another wide receiver, maybe in free agency or definitely in the draft, because we still are shorthanded. We still need to add more depth and more talent at that wide receiver position. But also remember, this Atlanta Falcons offense is also positionless football. We did hear Arthur Smith. He always talks about the Golden State Warriors in basketball and that he likes to be positionless and have guys that can play multiple positions like the Cordell Pattersons, like now the Mack Hollins of the world, and like the Jonnu Smith. So look for us to add more players that are not just play one particular position, but guys that can do multiple things. With that being said, this being your boy Jew. If you haven't hit that subscribe button for your boy, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.